It's Monday, November 25th, and you're listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Lots to talk about. I really don't know where to start. There's so much going on this week weather-wise and over the next couple of weeks. Kind of hard to focus in on just one thing. But first things first, with the holiday travel period coming on up, we're going to start off this week with not the best weather at all. In fact, this will be our most impactful stormy Thanksgiving weather period we've had in several years. It all gets started with a developing storm system that'll be taking shape over the next 48 hours. We have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories for a large swath of central southern Wyoming, northern Colorado, into western Nebraska, and portions of western Kansas. What we have is a confluence of many different weather elements all coming together at the same time. While no one has really gotten a lot of big snow overnight, and you look at radar, you don't really see any big organized area of precipitation. That's because what's going to develop is going to indeed just develop as we have strong upper jet stream winds coming off the Pacific. Those jet stream winds are transporting a lot of Pacific moisture our way. Strong jet stream winds bring a lot of lift to the atmosphere. It causes the atmosphere to want to go up. When the atmosphere wants to go up, it wants to make clouds and it wants to make it rain and snow. Now, at the same time, those moist jet stream winds are coming in. They're starting to get a curve to them over northern Utah. So what we're going to see is an area of low pressure form rapidly over northeast Utah, northwest Colorado later today and tonight. At the same time, a Canadian cold front is coming down the Continental Divide, bringing upslope. So on the ground, we got upslope winds. High above us, we have very strong jet stream winds that are lifting the atmosphere, and those jet stream winds are going right on top of a big temperature gradient that's forming between that cold front east of the divide and warmer air to the south. And when all these things come together in the same spot, you end up with a west to east trending area of heavy precipitation that wants to be west to east and about 100 miles, 150 miles north to south. This is a pattern we've seen before. It's a pattern that a lot of times does happen in the early winter season, and it's one of these patterns that we've recognized before that tends to produce a high confidence that you're going to get several inches of snow. And right now it looks like a lot of areas in central southern Wyoming and the northern half of Colorado are headed to 6 to 12 inches. I think most of you are going to end up in that range. That would be from about Casper to Colorado Springs, and then east and west about 150 miles on both sides of the Continental Divide. So it's going to cover a lot of area. The storm is going to hit the major arteries, I-25, I-80 in particular, but I-70 and I-76. The only interstate really spared, at least initially, will be I-90. All of the mountain passes of southern Wyoming and northern Colorado will be hit very, very hard. The bottom line is that with this snow and the snow amounts we're expecting, and the fact that the wind will pick up later today and tonight, and the fact that Arctic air gets injected tonight and tomorrow, this is going to make travel very difficult. If the roads are open this evening, tonight, and Tuesday, they'll be very difficult to navigate. If you've got to get to DIA, you got to get out today and early in the day today. Traveling to DIA or other airports in this area tonight and Tuesday will be very difficult. Traveling along those interstates will be very difficult if they stay open tonight and Tuesday. Now, after the storm settles down, depositing 6 to 12 inches of snow on the plains and upwards to 18 inches or more in the mountains of Colorado and southern Wyoming, we're then looking at another storm system swinging out of California and tracking through the region as we get into late Thursday night and into Friday and Saturday. Now, as early as Wednesday night and Thanksgiving Day Thursday, western and southwestern Wyoming, northeast Utah and eastern Idaho, and northwest Colorado could be snowing again. Then east of the divide, we've got to watch out Thursday night, Friday into Saturday for the storm to lift out. This next storm, the second one, may take a track more north. If it tracks more north, then it's central northern Wyoming, western South Dakota, that could see the strongest part of the second storm during the second half of the week. So while the first storm this week hit central southern Wyoming and Colorado the hardest, the second storm could hit central northern Wyoming and western South Dakota the hardest. So for you folks in northern Wyoming and western South Dakota that are getting spared from this storm, you might not get spared from the next. So we start the week with a storm. we end the week with the storm and start the weekend with the storm. So it's not going to be good. Hopefully your travel plans are to stay home this Thanksgiving. If you want to travel this Thanksgiving period, you've got to pay close attention and try to hit the gaps between these storms. Thanks for listening to the Day Weather Podcast. We'll have lots to talk about tomorrow as well. And if you do have to travel, allow a lot of extra time and make sure you're prepared.